The local honey, please.
Local honey's always better.
Yes. The one I have is from a different area of
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina. Today I went we finally are starting to balance out money-wise.
Oh,
Hi,
good.
everyone, but I'm waiting for everyone to come in, so I'm just talking about stupid shit right now. Because I've had a lot of my people who've commissioned me, they're like, "Hey, have you sent the commission yet?" And I did not realize how expensive it is to I literally said to them, I said, "No, I was a fool. I genuinely
Yeah.
thought it wouldn't be that expensive to ship just pictures."
Yeah, no,
They're
shipping can be
lucky.
nasty.
Yeah, and so like at minimum each costs between $6 and $10. And
Oof.
I've got at least like 9 or 10 I have to ship out. That's $100.
Yep.
And your girl ain't got that shit. Hello, Dr. Six Legs. Hello, Derp. Hello, Esteban. And so, yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, I have a sign as a hi, Moon. I have a sign
Hey,
as
everyone.
somebody decided to choke up right next to my car at a red light, and it was the longest red light of the year. I swear to God.
God.
And so, I sound like shit as a result. But how has your week been, Horror?
Oh, just the same old animal drama over here. Seems like every time I turn around, someone else is doing something stupid.
Is there an
Uh,
adventure you wish to share with the class?
oh yeah.
Hi, Toasty. Hi, Breen.
My Vincent, my black cat, who is
Hi, Allison.
around here somewhere. He'll show up before long, I'm sure.
Mine is right over there. Right there.
Yeah, he decided to go out and get himself wounded. So I'm sitting here on Friday and doing a live stream with some friends.
Oh, so you were on
And
stream when this happened.
yeah, well, when I found out about it, yeah, I was.
Oh, okay, okay.
But why is that not letting me move that? All right, whatever. So he jumps up on my lap, like he does. Wanders around, pushes my mic around. He settles right here in front of me, and I'm petting him, and I pet, from the top of his head and all the way up his tail, and I get to the base of his tail, literally where his butt meets his tail. Yep, right there. And it's big and thick, and I'm like, that's
unusual.
That's not normal. So I'm like, well, let me see if I can feel something, because I'm sitting there on stream, and it's like, you do what you do, and I give it a little squeeze, and he goes, wow! And I'm like, okay, he didn't like that. I'm gonna have to look at that when I'm not on stream. Hopefully it's nothing serious. So we get done, and I go right into my second stream, and we get done with that, and I have Sheep City and pick him up for me and turn him around, and I'm fluffing through his fur just a little bit, trying to see the skin, and I see just a couple little specks of red in there, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Speaking of,
somebody bit him or something scratched or something.
Yeah, hold on. Come here, bastard. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. You're so fat.
Hey, come look at this boy. Where's the Earl Grey? The Earl Grey is in a little red basket next to the Keurig. There's like 5 billion kinds of Earl Grey, so just pick one.
Let's see here.
Oh, yeah, that looks familiar. Ooh.
So, wait until the next morning and I have a grooming arm, since I do my own dogs half the time, and we I because he's a cat, and grooming a cat is nothing like grooming a dog.
No, because their spines do things dogs could never.
Yes, they absolutely. You can have one end will be here and the other end will turn around on you. They will absolutely turn around and bite you any way they can. So I have the head thing on his head, the butt thing on his butt, and I have Sheep City in there holding his front feet to the stand, because otherwise, no. So I managed to get it obviously shaved a bit, and got some hydrogen peroxide on it, and pushed it a little bit when he would let me, and got a little pus out. That was gorgeous. And I mean, surprisingly, he didn't try to kill anybody.
Well,
he
once I
merely.
think the pressure releases, like, I'll let you continue, but I think, like, once they understand, because even with him, because he's attacked us in the middle of grooming. I don't have a grooming arm. I don't have all the major equipment. I have just enough, which is these arms, and I
Mhm.
have a couple of the right brushes and stuff. But even with him, there's a threshold he'll have to meet. But for about 80% of it, he's like, okay, I feel like you're relieving pressure and pain. I will allow it for the moment. But continue, because I want to hear.
Yeah, no, he never hit that. He never had that moment of I think you're helping me, so I'm going to help you. No, that was never a thing. But he didn't bite, so we have that going for us. He did try to climb up Sheep City, and as we were standing there, first he started by hooking his claws in his pants, and then he slowly started up his shirt, which, considering I was working on his tail, not a big deal.
Right.
But he never really tried to attack us. I'm very impressed with him for that, considering I knew it had to have hurt as I
See,
was.
that's awesome, because I don't know that. I don't know that beauty, because every cat I have has once they reach their threshold, like, they'll usually stay still. They'll
Mhm.
they'll raise a fin, they'll grumble, they'll be angry, but it's, whatchamacalls it, once they reach it, specifically this one, once they reach that threshold, they're done. And see, with Zorro, knock on wood, has not had many cysts away from the face. Zorro has gotten, whenever he's gotten cysts, they've been on his jaw, they've been on his chin, because what Zorro loves to do, the little shit that he likes to go and eat human food out of the sink. So, like, if I was in the middle of cooking and maybe I'm a little tired and I don't want to have to, clean up at that exact moment, I walk away. Zora waits till I'm done. Mind you, no, no, baby, bring me the red basket. I'll pick it out.
Oh, I already tore one open and found out it was
Which one?
Earl Grey vanilla.
I mean, yeah, you can put it in that. Fill it about a third of the way. Don't fill it more than that, please. And use the Mooresville honey, okay? Sorry, guys. Um, because I had the sinus infection, Starman is making me some hot tea because he had a very rough day today. And so I made him go and get his favorite foods, and I
Oh,
baked him a cake. The cake is cooling on the counter. We see you, Vincent.
yeah, it's
And
here.
and
Oh, don't
I
knock
was
on the
like,
keyboard.
baby,
God
can you
damn it.
return the favor and make me a hot drink? Because your girl hurts. Zorro, my owner's trash, is my treasure. Yeah, Zorro, who, mind you, he can't jump up on the bathroom sink on his own, so he comes up and taps my knee and makes me pick him up. Oh, but when he wants to get on the kitchen counter, oh, motherfucker suddenly is an Olympian gymnast. Suddenly he can make that leap, no problem. Back legs are working fine.
Oh yeah.
Zorro's always had issues, so I knew from when I got him something was wrong with Zorro, and it's actually right between here and here. So as you
Mhm.
guys have seen from photos, Zorro's a very long back cat, and he has that perfect arch when he sits. So if you feel down his spine has always been able to be felt. You can feel right about here. He has a little divot in between his spinal column.
Hmm.
So each ridge, how it's like
Mhm.
each way. Right here, starting, let me go again. Right there. Here, here, and here, and I think there's a fourth. No, just these three. It's split like this.
Hmm.
And so Zorro's always had kind of back problems to begin with. And I always knew that would be an issue.
Yeah.
And then whatchamacalls it, when he hit his hip, it became a whole other issue because he's all wiggly wobbly. But you see, what you showed me with Vincent, I am very familiar with. Arya had this happen. Matt, how long ago was Arya's cyst? A year, you'd say, maybe more? Yeah, he's not answering. I was whenever I pick up my cats, I get them very used to me yanking their tail when I pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that way, one, if I ever have a kid come over and they yank the tail, it's not the end of the world. The cat doesn't flip out. So I always start from the head, and then I just lightly tap their tail, bring them up, and drop their back legs. I don't do it like, and then drop them. I just do a little yank. When I did it with Aria, I felt this huge ball, but it was hard and lightly tacky. Like there was hardened fur.
Mm-hmm.
That she had gotten, I thought, some kind of sap or something on it, which I don't know how, but stranger things have happened.
Yep.
And so every time I tried to clean it, Aria is a bitch, a big bitch. She gets pissy when you do her claws. Mine too doesn't hurt. She just doesn't like it.
Yeah.
She's just very finicky. She's easily injured, all that jazz. What had happened was, because I finally got to hold her down, and I peeled apart the fur enough, and oh my God, the smell. What had happened was, because she was often getting in fights with Axel and Hendrix, because she hates Hendrix, like it's on site with her and Hendrix. Except at dinner time. When there's food involved, Ari doesn't give a shit. Of course not. Hendrix walking into the room and minding his own fucking business, oh no, he's gotta die. That's when Arya is like, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong. So we know that this happened from someone biting her. Someone had bitten her tail, caused a cyst. The cyst has burst, and it had literally caused like a little cap on top of her fur.
Mm-hmm.
So it was holding all that infection in. So by the time I got to it, it was a gaping, and I'm nowhere that was that big. Double what Vincent has.
Yeah, his is not that bad.
Yeah, it was huge. Like I could almost see to her bone in her tail. So at the time, your girl was pretty damn broke. But I also keep a lot of first aid around because Orion is an idiot. And Orion fairly often cracks his claws. No matter how much I trim them, even when I keep them low, Orion finds a way to literally strip his whole claw of the keratin.
Oh God.
Shows only his quick. It's happened so often, it's ridiculous. And so I always keep triple antibiotic, hydrogen peroxide, and syringes, not needle syringes, but like cleansing syringes.
The squirty kind. Yeah,
right.
Squirty kind.
And saline spray.
Yep.
And so what I started doing, once she got used to it, it was fine. I cleansed it. And I kept it clean. I call my vet as well, because just to be on the safe side, because my vets know me. They know I do animal rescue, and they know that I have a lot of pets. And I said to them, I have A, B, and C. This is what I'm going to do for wound care.
I got a story about my vet too when you're done.
Huh?
I got a story about my vet too when you're done.
And she said, I cannot advise you, but if I was going to administer home care, something similar is something that I would potentially do. So that way, legally, I can't come back and say, well, my vet said I could do this and I'd be all right, in case something fucks up and she gets gangrene or something. So, but I did exactly what I got, because I also have a bedpan. I have rat collected as much as I could of medical equipment for my animals. And every night, I might want milk in it too, babe, but I gotta let it steep first for a little bit. Thank you. You're the best. You're the best. Whatchamacalls it. So what I would do is I would hold Aria hostage, usually in my shirt. I would bundle her up, and I would have her tail sticking out, and I would hold like this, would hold the base of her tail. I would stretch it out like that, and I would spray. I'm trying to get in the camera. I would spray the saline solution into the wound, and I would rinse it out as much as possible.
Yeah.
And then I would fill it with antibiotic ointment, and that was what I would do twice a day. Within a week or two, it was gone.
Yep.
So legally, I have to say, no, if your cat has a gaping hole in them, you should go to the vet. However, home care, if done right, is very effective.
It's funny because my interaction with the vet because I called him on Saturday, to ask him, what do you think it needs to be seen? The funny thing is normally my vet's open on Saturdays, so I call my vet. I expected his secretary to answer, and I had my conversation planned out with his secretary, and instead of being met with, "Hello, this is the name of the veterinary office," I met with "Yellow." I'm like, and it's a male voice to top it off, and I actually pulled the phone away from my head for a second to make sure I dialed the right number, and I said, "Tim, is that you?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, oh, I thought you guys were open on Saturdays. And he's like, "Oh, normal we are, but I'm recovering from surgery." And I'm like, "Oh God, I'm sorry. I don't mean to disturb you." But, I was, and I explained to him about Vincent, and then he literally said was, "Yeah, just clean it out with some hydrogen peroxide, keep it open, let it drain. If
Yep.
it gets worse, let me know." That's he didn't preface it with anything. That's literally all he said to me. But he's used to me taking care of my own animals too. When years ago, and this is why I have problems when people have small dogs and big dogs in the same house, because you can run into issues, and I myself have been through it. I had a German Shepherd and I had a Yorkie, and for years they were fine together because they'd always been together. And then my German Shepherd started playing with a slightly larger dog who she could be rougher with. And then one day she got excited when my mom came home, and she picked her up and shook her around a bit. This happened.
You
This is
can't
one of
blame the
those
German
things.
Shepherd. You really can't, guys.
No, it wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault. I was never mad at her for it. I'm mad at myself because after the first time, we just figured we just needed to do a little more training and keep a little more eye on her. It happened a second time. And at that point, we're like, it should still be okay. We don't want to give up our pets. We love our pets. The third time, she killed her. The third time, she turned her heart into hamburger. It was one of those things we couldn't even explain why it happened. Mom was getting out of bed. My Yorkie ran into the room. Sasha got excited and jumped on her, and we took her to the vet. And I love my vet because I know he excuse me, I hate getting emotional where people can see it. So
I know your pain. I've had it happen.
I love my vet because I know he stayed with her the whole time.
And the thing is, guys, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Horror. If you're going to keep a big dog with a small dog,
Mm-hmm.
and this happened with Greta. Greta is actually, what you're saying is a perfect example. So Greta has always been a gentle dog with every dog. She's fantastic, but I also would routinely bring her around other dogs. Well, since 2019, I have not been able to do that. Greta has only been around Orion, and Orion and her play very rough. They rough house, and sometimes it's too rough. And so
Yep.
I naively, if you're one of my OG watchers, you'll know that a dog stole a package off my property once, and then that dog started showing up last year. And Greta could not wait to meet him. The problem was when Greta met with him as if he was Orion. And she tried to play with him like he was Orion. And Duke, as I came to find out his name was not the rough and tumble dog that Orion is. And she scared him so much, I have not seen him since. He has stayed away from my property ever since, has not even sniffed the border. And Greta, you could tell she was confused, but she has to get back used to it. And that's the thing, like Horror was saying, if you want you have to have a couple of options here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to let your larger dog play with other larger dogs, then you have to keep it separate during excitable times from your smaller dog.
Yeah.
Because there is a limit. You can have a small dog with a large dog, but it can't have the bone structure of a Yorkie. Surprisingly, Chihuahuas, like standard Chihuahuas, much stockier, much more muscular, can handle it. If you're gonna have a Cavalier, if you're gonna have a Papillon, if
Oh
you're gonna
God, a
have,
Papillon would be eaten.
oh my god, alive. Although I did meet a Papillon that was 50 pounds and not fat. I met it. I was 16.
That couldn't be a purebred Papillon.
It was purebred, so it was an anti-runt. It was with its mother, and she had this dog, and the Papillon mother came up, and I was like, oh, so cute. And then this fucking huge Papillon walks up. He was like, the mother was this tall, and he was this tall. No word of a lie, he was like 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall. And I was like,
It's a big fucking Papillon.
and I looked at it, I was like, that's a Papillon? She goes, yep, he's purebred. She's like, he's an anti-runt. He's the only one in the litter that came out that way because she bred the mother.
Oh,
And
it's
she
like
had this-
Sydney. He's probably going to be 16 pounds versus his mother, who's 8.
right.
So
Looking at this dog, it
feet.
was insane. And with following guard, oh wait, what are we talking about here? I think I've been lucky. There was a short time I didn't have any large dogs, but I did have my dad's Chihuahua. When I rescued my Dane, I was worried. But see, again, Chihuahuas Chihuahuas shockingly, excuse me, have a strong bone structure and strong muscles. They are working dogs. Yorkies are so far from when they were working dogs that even though they have all the proper instinct, most Yorkies are too delicate. Like
And she was one I
get-
bought at a pet store to top that off. So it's not like she had any kind of particularly good breeding in her.
Right.
I mean, I'm like 90% sure these beavers could handle it fine because they're
right.
thicker, they're heavier. I mean, you can tell the difference between my Sophie and my Grace. Grace is 8 pounds, but she's a well-built 8 pounds.
Right, and that's the main thing. Like, you have to take into account the kind of dogs that you've got, and that's why I was listing off the more delicate dogs. You know,
Hmm.
Shih Tzus, Papillons, Cavalier Kings, all these small, delicate dogs. That there is a difference. That's why you really shouldn't have a whippet around a greyhound.
Oh
A
God.
whippet is nothing but a small greyhound, but a whippet is made of glass. Like
Greyhounds are basically made of glass, but a whippet is just,
right.
Jesus
But
Christ.
even a greyhound, you shouldn't have around many big, stocky
No.
dogs.
No, because they're too.
Greyhounds can break their legs so easy and
They're
their
so
ribs
fragile.
crack. Oh my god, so fragile. It's crazy considering how fast they can go.
Oh,
My
yeah.
dad got hit by a greyhound going full speed once.
Oh, God.
So in Rhode Island, we still do dog racing. And greyhounds are a big deal in Rhode Island, or at least they were when I moved. And my dad used to guard where they housed the dogs before races. And one night he said this pure white female, this huge fucking dog, she escaped her pen. And the owner, these dogs are worth, at the time, tens of
God.
thousands of dollars. And that's just for the dog itself, not including the
Mhm.
winnings it can get these people. This is $100,000, $200,000 running out the door into the woods of Lincoln. And the guy yells to my dad to stop her. And so my dad did exactly what my dumbass would do. He got in front of the dog. Fun fact, greyhounds can top at 45 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. They're fucking fast.
And so she hit him square in the chest. Dad said it was like getting hit by a tiny freight train. He was like, whoa! But he got her.
Mm-hmm.
I did this once, and my friend thought I was going to die. So one of my best friends, her husband was a cop. And that gave her the chance to take the less desirable canines off of the force. If they weren't going to make it to the canine unit, they were still well-bred dogs that needed a home. And so she had Remy. And Remy, that darling little boy with special. Remy had a lot of problems. He had a lot of anxiety, which is why he didn't get into the canine unit.
Yep.
And Remy had a lot of aggression. He did not like strangers. And even if he knew you, he may not like you. And so Remy really liked me. He loved Greta. Oh, he loved Greta. And he liked me. I immediately connected with the dog. She was very impressed with me over it. And so one day I came over and Remy got hyper excited. and ran out the door because I was picking up the kids because I was their nanny. He comes running out the door, and my friend wasn't quick enough to stop him. Well, I went naturally into what I do, and I stopped him. I ran right in front of him, and I was like, I forgot what I did. I went, oh, like whatever I was starting to learn to do, and Remy just stopped for me, and she said, "I thought you were going to die. I thought he was going to kill you." She's like, "No one's supposed to do that." I'm like, I knew I was okay with Remy. Because if you know dog language, if you know dog body language, especially because he was trained to be a canine unit, you can usually tell when a dog is in that moment.
Yep.
That's not to say do what I did, guys, because, there was a 50-50 chance. But I was being stupid. I was being me. I run to ongoing traffic for geese, so, babe, I require my milk. And I need my tea bag taken away because it's a little thick. It's a bit thick, guys.
That's a big ass tea bag.
It's loose leaf, and this was from a tea service that I joined.
Oh.
They sent you free tea bags, linen tea bags, every month. So I have like 20 linen tea bags and a bunch of disposable ones.
Nice.
And he already opened it up, and here we go. We're gonna trade. Here, you're gonna dump those tea leaves out and rinse it out. And I'm going to take this milk, and hold on. We're going to do a Texas two-step real quick. There you go. The camera's over here, love.
Yeah, I know. I know it is.
Thanks, handsome. You're the best. Hello, Leah.
Hey.
Remy is a special boy. Remy was a special boy. She was so sad when she had to give up her dogs. She moved for a while across country. And for some reason, she could not take the dogs with her. She had to pick, it's thick with 3 C's, honestly. She had to pick between, obviously, making sure the kids were okay or taking the dogs. And because where she was going, they wouldn't let her keep the dogs. So she found new homes for them. And she was very upset because if I had been in this house, I could have... that's what I always feel bad about. I could have taken her dogs for her for a little while. And then she'd have been fine.
Yeah.
It was literally off by a year. That kind of sucked.
That's the way life works sometimes.
But yeah. No, I will say that did I talk last week about Orion and the litter boxes? I forget. Okay, so we already had that problem.
Oh yeah.
So this week, the mice are back.
You need some peppermint.
And we'll see. The thing is, I don't have to worry about it because, see, I wouldn't know the mice were here if it weren't for my cats killing them, leaving them for me to find. So I know the cats are doing their job, especially the kittens. Oh my God. Calliope and Sinbad, they're on their shit. Well, as you all know, last time I found the mouse cut in half. This time, we just found it without a head. And Starman found it barefoot with its foot. At like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, lovely.
Because I was up and I was using the ladies' room. And all of a sudden, we hear a calamity. There's hissing, there's spitting, there's bowls flying, there's water flowing. It's everywhere. So I'm like, of course. So I had to do my little song and dance to get Starman out of bed. Which is usually resulting... Don't judge me. I have to punch the wall because he sleeps so solid. He does not... His subconscious only reacts if he thinks someone's knocking on the door. And then sometimes I will take the bathroom cabinet door and slam that a couple of times. That gets his attention too. And he gets up and I was like, so what's going on? He's like, oh... There must have been an issue over Penny's water. Aria's been attacking Penny lately. We don't know why. But only when she's behind the TV. When she's out from the TV, Aria doesn't give a shit. So I have no idea.
Must be a spot issue.
I don't know what it is. But whatchamacallit. So as he is picking up everything, He goes, "Ugh, well." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "There was another mouse. That must have been what the fight was about." And I'm like, now we had just gotten home a little while ago. We were tired. I feel the mouse had been there when we got home. We just didn't notice. And here's why. He's like, "Oh, they must have just killed that mouse." I would have heard someone crunching the skull of a mouse. Let me tell you, that would not have been a silent bite. That's first off. Second off, this is where you might think I'm gross, guys. I told him to bring me the mouse, which all of its little legs have been broken. So someone had crunched it a few times. And I took the back of my pinky and I laid across its chest. And it was ice cold and wet from the water that had been thrown across it. I was like, no, this did not die while we were home, because we've only been home a little while. And coming this summer, silent bite.
Nice.
I can't. And so I was like, nah, this motherfucker been dead a while, because he was trying to say the kittens had done it. And I'm like, they haven't been out that long. It couldn't have been them. I'd have heard this. But yeah. I got a funny story about my cat. Caught him playing with one of my articles of clothing left on the floor.
Oh, man.
He spotted me trying to film him. He froze solid like a kid caught snooping. Oh my God. I can't. This guy is... I don't know. People who have followed me a long time, even if you look back on my old TikToks, you can see how good his fur quality is from last year with me doing all supplements. And now he's starting to get in some of his old habits. But because the fleas have come back, he does now take on a weird habit that we've never seen him do before. And I think it's just old age. He is now only sleeping on the sink. And we couldn't figure out what he was doing. I'm pretty sure he's watching the fleas. And the reason why I say this is 3 nights in a row, I have caught him staring at the rug. And he's watching very intently at the rug. And then, this is what he used to do when he would get bitten. He goes airborne. Zorro will just flip in the air, kick back, and run off. But he never watched the fleas before, but now he's watching them. And so what he has done is now he lays on the sink, but he lays with his fucking head laying like he's dead off the side of the sink. And so Starman calls me while I'm at work, and he's like, I don't like what Zorro's doing. And I'm like, what is Zorro doing? He's like, he's being weird. You can't call me my 14-year-old cat is being weird. What is weird? And then he explains to me what he was doing, and it's one of two things. As we all know, every video you guys see me post now, whether it's a short or anything, he's right there. I even made a short about it where I put him down. I'm sweating right now, let me tell you guys.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
am physically sweating because it's getting hot in North Carolina. He don't care. Nope. Yep. And I have put it down to one of two issues. It's either just he wants something soft to sit on, although I don't 100% think that's the case, because I've given him soft options. He doesn't want them. And the other one is I have been abnormally absent from home the last 3 weeks.
I think there might be a third possibility.
Dying?
No, well, not necessarily dying, but like Tiberius is old. He's actually 14, about the same age.
Right.
And he will actually lay down. I mean, depending on how he's feeling, he'll either lay on the bare floor because he's too hot, or he'll lay on the fluffiest pillow he can find because he's too cold. He might be feeling chill.
See, we thought that too. But Starman, anytime he lays on Starman, and Starman's got a little bit of a tub to him, little tiny bit, nothing much. He does not like it. He actively only chooses to lay on me. And he doesn't pick, like, he only picks either the sink or me. And so that's why I'm like, I would agree if it weren't for the fact that he only picks two things, because he has a heated blanket. I bought him a heated blanket. He knows where it is, and he knows how to get me to turn it on. He won't do it. I've even turned on the heated blanket, let it get warmed up, and put him on it. He does not care. And so that's why I do believe, because it's only ramped up the last 3 weeks where he won't leave me alone. Like the moment I get home, even when I'm standing up, he's just gotten his treat for the night. He still won't leave me alone. And so that's the only reason why I'm like, he claimed you. Oh, Zorro's claimed me from day one. From the moment he met me, Zorro has claimed me as his. He used to nah, it's too gross. I'm not gonna say it, but he's either way, Zorro has always claimed me as his. It's just as of recent, he has decided no matter what, he will stay on me. The only creature that makes him get pissed off when they're laying on me with him is Orion. And even then, only to an extent does he get pissy. So he refuses to leave my side. Which is partly why I haven't released a video the last 2 weeks, guys. I've been so busy. Because we had so many events 1 week. And then we're trying to get one side of the business up and running as soon as possible. Like, we're trying to get everything going, and it's pretty much me and my boss running everything. I did want to let you guys know, I've asked him, he doesn't really care. Arcasol, if you guys all don't, if you guys know who he is, he works with me now and doesn't just work with me on videos. No, he actually works with me at the restaurant. And so he's been helping out a lot. That's been a big help. And so we're just really trying hard. I was supposed to work today, and it just wasn't in me. For the first time in a while, my boss saw me like getting dizzy yesterday, and that was bad because the problem was I hadn't eaten. Is he here now? I heard you say hail, but I didn't see him.
I don't know if he's here.
I don't think he is. But anyways, I whatchamacallit, I was getting dizzy from the heat. I hadn't eaten because when I tell you sinus infections make me nauseous, I don't know. Do they do that for you? Because I know you said you no longer have them.
If I get enough postnasal drainage, I will get very nauseous. Like this last cold I had, basically I was nauseous the entire time because it wasn't coming out my nose. It was going right down the back of my throat and into my stomach. And that makes me sick.
See, for me, it's all the pressure right here. And you know how you feel it? Like, so the only way I can say is like, you know, when you get the heavy swollen pressure on the roof of your mouth and right here, and every time you swallow, you feel that swelling.
Yeah.
That's what gets me nauseous. And so I just actively don't choose to eat to begin with. And so my boss literally walked. I'm in the middle of washing dishes. And she walks up, she goes, "Open your mouth." And she shoves some food in it. And it was something that we both really enjoyed, but she realized, she goes, "You know I love you if I'm sharing that with you." And I was like, "It is true." We like crispy chicken skin. Like, I always say it, and like what I love is that she just feeds me like I'm Asian. The only thing she can't feed me is the spicy stuff, but she'll say, "Cassie doesn't like flavor." Bitch, there is more than one flavor.
I mean, it can be spicy and flavorful at the same time. I do that all the time.
I like the flavor. I don't like the spicy. And she knows I'm not lying because she's tried. There's only like white pepper doesn't affect me too much. So when she uses white pepper, it's not so bad. But still, if I get a sinus infection like that, a lot of fluid build, same. Right. It's just overall, I hate the sensation. I don't like when I cough. All that. See, it really grosses me out to talk about any bodily fluids, guys. I like spicy and flavor. The moon, I will make it for you. And I'll just spice you want. Cassie ain't gonna eat it. And she said to me, she goes, "I can't eat your tomato sauce." She said, "Why?" I said, "Why?" She goes, "Well, you haven't tasted it. How do you know if it's good?" I'm like, "Excuse you. Just because I don't eat it, I know by this. Because if the smell is appropriate, if the scents blend, I know I got the right shit. I know I got this." And
yeah, I can't do anything by nose. My nose doesn't work.
That's because of the operation, right?
No, it didn't work before. It's never. I am one of those people that how to describe this? So if someone goes, "Smell that," I'm usually smell what? And if I smell it, everybody else is probably already dead.
Right? She ain't the canary, guys. See,
I am not the canary.
and I
If I can
actually have
smell
heightened
something, it's
sense.
one of two things. It's either insanely strong or I'm allergic to it.
Ooh. See, I have heightened senses of everything. I've got very good eyesight. I actually been tested for the extra cones for colors, so I see colors others don't.
I'm
And
blind as a bat.
I've had it happen in real time where I've been like, do you see that like earthy green? They're like, that's brown. I'm like, no, it's green. It's brown. And I'll be like, sure, it's brown. And with hearing, like again, this ear got damaged thanks to Orion because of his barking is very sharp. But the other day when I was feeling dizzy, I hear from across the kitchen, she says to Ark, make sure she takes as many breaks as possible. I want her to rest. I said, I can hear you. See, she's a fucking bitch. I heard that too.
That I can say comes and goes because sometimes I will hear it. It's that mother hearing thing, you know. If you don't want me to hear it, I'm probably gonna hear it.
Right. And see,
but you can be standing right next to me and I don't hear shit.
So for me, apparently it's a neurodivergent thing. Like apparently it has something to do with me being ADHD because I can hear a lot. And the worst part is I will sometimes be like, huh? Because my brain works a little too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll hear what you're saying, but I won't know if I heard what you said. So I'll say, huh? Oh, yeah. Because you're busy trying to tell me what I asked you to confirm. But I'm like, oh, no, I heard it. No, shut up. I heard it.
I heard it, but my brain didn't process it fully before I realized that yeah.
And see, tonight, my husband had to explain it to me because I don't know if this is, again, I don't know if it's part of that. One of my friends shared a post and it said, okay, my neurodivergence, which fork? And I'm looking at it and my brain went, since when does a type of fork spot that you're neurodivergent? I didn't get what the fuck it meant. I'm looking at it and I'm like, all I'm seeing is several forks in several different sizes that are all ugly. That was what my brain said. My husband goes, no, babe. They're saying that you have one fork, only one fork that you use. You pick that one fork out and you never use any others. He's, which one out of these? And I went, all of those are ugly. I wouldn't use any of them. Those would not be my favorite fork. But then I got it. I understood what he said. And that's how I
You
am.
successfully failed the test. Yes.
I successfully passed and or failed. Like there was no middle. Because I did have that where there was one knife. And back when I was in Rhode Island, I lived with my parents. They had these steak knives, and one of them had a little red mark across it. I only wanted to use that knife. I did not want to use it. I would get up, take the steak knife they gave me, put it back, and get the red knife. And my dad is the same way. My dad has had the same fork for 65 years.
Holy shit.
He even carved it when he was little. So there's little etches in the very top of it, so that way no one used his fork but him.
Wow.
And that's how Starman told me. He's like your dad's fork. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, and it's a big deal. If you don't give my dad his fork, we're all like, what did you do? You have made an error. You did, and you learned your lesson, didn't you? And so that's where I want a custom fork, right?
You can get those made. I mean, it's not that hard.
I know. I kind of want to do it with my little emblem. This thing right here.
That'd be cute.
I kind of want so do you guys want to know why I'm so obsessed with my emblem? This is completely not animal related. I was never very good at making designs and pictures like this. This is not my strong suit. This is. I can make people and animals all day long. This, not so much. So one of my best friends growing up, she was extremely good at that kind of patterns and stuff. And she designed that for me. Now, I have cleaned it up a little bit. Logo, yes. I always call it the wrong thing. But either way, my logo, the big one and the little one I took out of it. But my big long logo, hold on, I'll show you. Just give me a moment, guys. This right here, she made for me. I then took the side that I felt was the most even, and I mirrored it, and I fixed it up so it was all pretty. And then I made this
little one.
And then I just started adding in designs. God, Zoro, you are making me sweat my fucking ass off. And that's I want to try to like incorporate it into everything. This is the totally selfish part of me. But just how like everyone relates the elder god monster to you. I want when someone sees that, I want them to think of me and love it because
Nice.
it just means so much to me. Like that's something that always means a lot to me is when someone makes something for you from their heart. I think that's just the best. And that's something that I like. And you know what I want? I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow too. Oh, and I'm actually gonna have an on time stream tomorrow.
No.
Right.
What?
I know. First time in a month.
Oh no, no one's gonna show up because they're not gonna expect you to be there.
I know. I'm gonna have to. I've been so bad about scheduling streams. As you guys saw, I only scheduled this one an hour ago because I'm an idiot. I
That's
slept
fine. I
for
was
most of
sitting
the
there
day.
debating: is it at 8 o'clock or at 9 o'clock? 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I don't know.
I'm retarded. But anyways, so Moon's like, yes, yay. And so what was I saying? Hold on. Oh yeah. So I recently found out I lost a friend. Not dead, like she blocked me on everything.
That's sad.
And I've been losing a couple of friends lately over opinions. I thought I lost her over the Twitter feud. The whole, but no, apparently even though she knew my political leanings and she knew my ideologies, apparently once she saw my Twitter, she was flabbergasted. I'm like, but I post everything I post on Twitter, I also post on my Instagram. It's no different. She said that it built up and da-da-da-da. I was really upset yesterday about it because she did it at some point. I had no idea when, and just shut me off. Cut me off. Made me unfollow her because on Instagram you can do that. Well, you can do that on all platforms now, I think.
Yeah.
You
On
can
Twitter, you
force
just have to
someone-
block and unblock somebody.
Right. You block them and make them unable to follow you. Da, 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 da. And I messaged her. And so here's the dumbass in me. At first, I caught on, but I caught on the wrong account. I was making reels on my jobs account for the restaurant. And I was like, I had gone to wash some dishes and I had a momentary break. So I went onto my phone. I was like, and I didn't see the logo for the restaurant. And so I typed in her name and I was like, oh, I'm not following her. And she's not following me. And then afterwards, right after I sent her a message saying, hey, what happened? I looked at the logo. I went, fuck, it's the restaurant. And so I went over because that's when I was like, oh, crisis averted. Well, I'll just check anyway. And that's when I went onto my own account and I was like, oh no, it's all okay. So it really happened. And then I went and checked on Twitter because I noticed I hadn't seen her tweets in a while. No, she blocked me on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
She only unfollowed me on Instagram. And I was truly upset because I was like, when she and I had a conversation when we first started talking, I was like, oh, wow, you're a really talented artist. I was worried you wouldn't like me after seeing all of my, opinions. Most don't like me. And I was waiting for you to, come at me and say this, that, and the other. She goes, no. I always accept all opinions. And unless you do something truly heinous, I'm going to keep talking to you. So I was getting pissed. I'm like, you're literally being a hypocrite. You're doing the opposite of what you said. You couldn't even be an adult. Like all these things are going through my head. And that's what bothers me when a friendship ends, guys. I don't care if you want to end the friendship. What I care about is you don't come to me and say, I just don't like you anymore. I don't want to be your friend. And this is why I don't like you. Be free. But it bothers me. And so I sent her a message. I was like, I thought we were friends. You couldn't at least tell me why we stopped talking and how I knew she was ignoring me. She responded to the message from the restaurant, but not to my message. And I went, but today I'm not upset. And here's why. I went to the bathroom. I took a big shit and I was like, no. While I was going to the bathroom.
Going to the bathroom fixes everything.
Right? If it's Starson, she's going potty. As I was using the ladies' room, I always take my phone with me. And I noticed an alert. It was from my former friend on my Instagram. she had, after I said I thought we were friends, you could at least tell me why you're cutting me off, and I left it at that. She messaged me, and that's when she told me all these things. She's like, "You're right. I should have been an adult and just said to you how I feel."
Mm-hmm.
She said, instead of just blocking you and leaving it. And we had a very good conversation. And even though we are no longer friends, as she puts it, we ended things very amicably. Like she's like, "I love you, and I hope for nothing but the best for you," and and I'm like, this kind of sounds like you still like me. You just, But anyways,
Can't be seen with me. Yeah.
yeah, I do feel it's partially optics. However, she is a much larger creator than me. I'm gonna say, like, she has over 100,000 followers, much larger creator than me, and a lot of the themes she does, I will tell you right now, even I wasn't quite vibing with some of the things she made. I thought they were kind of wrong. We're talking vor in some of her artwork. If you don't know what vor is, don't look it up. But a slight not peed, but furry. I didn't like that, but you know what? I knew it was just art.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that was the final cut.
Nail in the coffin.
I do, because she is large on Twitter too. She is known. Other very large, famous creators know her. And she is just getting all of this attention. And I will also say this. I think, and I said it to Starman today, I think if I lived where she lived, I might be more liberal. Much more liberal. She lives in a country that actually does have oppression for women. Like, where you can't be anything but exactly what a woman needs to be, or you get stoned kind of situation.
Oh, yeah.
She lives in a very oppressive country. So I can see where people who actually live under oppression might feel these ways. I do. I don't feel that way because I live in a country where we all have plenty of rights and you guys are just being little bitches. But either way, I do believe being liberal is for the French. But so I wanted to say that. I just wanted to put that out there, guys. I'm going to bring it up tomorrow as well. I say it like this. A friendship should, in my opinion, usually end like that. If you're an adult and you simply don't like how someone's acting or being or their, if you're truly one of those people that you morally can't be friends with someone. And I kind of sit in a duality of that, because on the one hand, I do agree that, the company you keep and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't want to be friends with, see Kyle. You wouldn't want to sit and go, "Oh yeah, he's one of my best friends."
I know. That's different. I mean,
so I do get it to an extent. If you don't want to vibe with that, that's fine. I guess my biggest thing is tell the person. I think one of the most cowardly things someone can do is just dip.
Yep.
Without saying a word, because it's a sign of disrespect. And that's the thing. Like, if you don't respect the person, fine, go ahead if you don't care. But if you respected the person and you guys are super, super close, and just because of optics you want to say nothing, I just think it's way more responsible and adult to just have the guts to say, "I don't want to be friends with you anymore. I wish you nothing but the best, but I can't be a part of your life anymore." I have so much respect for that. And she even thanked me. She's like, "Thank you for not being mean." Why would I be mean? Why would I be angry? I would much rather this closure of knowing what happened instead of sitting there and wondering and all that jazz. She still hasn't unblocked me on Twitter, so I am going to message her and be like, "I still want to look at your art because a lot of it is very good. Can you please unblock me?" Like, there's a lot of it is really.
You don't have to follow me, but just let me see. That's all.
Just let me get my fix, man. Come on. But like, there are several larger creators that I am friends with. There's another one who I can't tell. I've told her point blank, just ignore my politics. She and I are friendly. We talk fairly often. I really, really like her as a creator, and I really, really like her as just a person. But it's one of those situations where it's a bed of straw.
Mm.
There's not much. If she just saw the right things, it would be done. And I even told her, because she had to make a Twitter, I said, I am going to follow you on Twitter. Do not follow me back.
Mm-mm.
I said, you don't like politics. You've told me you don't like politics. And I don't want you involved. And she goes, no problem. So we're good. I hate this, guys. You have no idea.
Do we
And I
need
have
to
to
let
be
you get some
careful.
rest?
I will probably have to cut it early, but that's why I made sure I had this, because I don't want the gravel throat.
Mm,
A lot of what I do, I have to talk at work.
Yep.
And I have to. The real dilemma is trying to get a large following so they know I make cool stuff. See, that's the biggest problem. A lot of folks have disparaged me because I have a small following. And I'm like, don't you think that the reason I have a small following is not because I lack talent, but partially because I do keep getting pulled from algorithms, which I know for a fact is true. And I'm not saying that that isn't partially, something I have to. Like, for instance, it's definitely my fault the last 2 weeks that my viewership has fallen down. I chose sleep.
She chose herself over the.
I literally did. I apologize, guys, but I chose myself the last 2 weeks because, like, I actively sat there on the couch and thought for like 20 minutes. I'm like, it's this time. I could get in this many hours of this. Then I could get up at this time, get in this many hours of this. And I would just sit there and get so tired. And so that's why this week I'm going to try to edit 2 videos so I'm ahead of the curve. And I put up a poll for, does anybody want to see my other shorts? Because I got some old TikToks that I think they're from 2021. They're from when I first started the TikTok. So, or right around then. Nowadays, people think following equals endorsement. I think to an extent, when it becomes business, it's not entirely untrue, though, Leah.
And you see this, I'm going to bet this is part of why I will never be big, is because I'm not ever going to be capable of ignoring someone based on politics or any of that kind of thing. There's just one me.
Right.
And I'm not going to pretend to be anything else. And I don't want anybody else to pretend to be anything else. And if I get along with you, I get along with you, even if we don't agree politically or whatever.
I think the problem is, oh no, I agree. Because I mean, like, I have a lot of friends who ideologically I don't agree with. The only hard lines I really have is about kids.
Yeah. Bless you.
Thank you. That went silent, right? You didn't hear it, right? Okay, good.
Yeah, no, we just saw it. It was funny.
Yeah. The only time is like the people who, this is too political for the animal stream, but like that
humans are animals. We're talking about humans are animals. We're talking about just another animal behavior.
That 13-year-old boy with the mini skirt and the thigh-high boots.
No.
I have a friend who tried to tell me that there is nothing wrong with drag around kids and that it's all me just pearl clutching. And I was like, there is literally evidence. She goes, well, show me the evidence. And I showed her the evidence. And she said, that's not from a scholarly, it's not a scholarly example. It's from YouTube. So I'm not going to acknowledge that. I said, you literally told me that it's pearl clutching. That's not scholarly evil either. So I gave you video evidence of what's going on and you don't want to hear it. And that's fine. You don't want to hear it. And then I posted screenshots of that boy. There is a video of a boy, and I want to say is a rap concert. And at this rap concert, the boy has thigh-length braids done in cornrows.
Which is terrible for you anyway.
Yes. Which he was whipping around. I will say he was skilled.
Oh yeah, no. I couldn't walk in those shoes, but he shouldn't be walking in those shoes. Nobody at that age should be walking in those shoes, male or female.
He was in thigh-high patent leather lace-up spike heels and a mini skirt, lace back patent leather mini skirt. And he was doing what I can only say is a stripper dance. Literally. It was a literal stripper dance. He was doing splits. He had his ass in the air. He was spreading his legs. He was doing dead drops. whipping his hair around, breaking his back, if you know what I'm talking about, doing all of it to a crowd of hundreds of adults. Hundreds. And there's this MC on stage encouraging him to do more. The model walk, blah, 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 blah. And when I was in high school, we're talking 17 to 19-year-olds, the senior class wanted to do a rendition of the Cell Block Tango from Chicago. And when they did it, the girls weren't even as scantily clad as he was. And almost all renditions of movies were banned from my school after that. Because the girls showed up in lingerie and it was like, nope, this is inappropriate, blah, 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 blah. When you watch Mean Girls, the Jingle Bell Rock scene is supposed to be scandalous and outlandish and never supposed to happen in real life.
Mm-hmm.
We're not supposed to be imitating it, guys. And this is the problem. Like, and so when I posted screenshots of these issues, my friend never responded. She never said a word. Haven't heard anything since. Because she was sitting there saying how there was this event where the MC was a child-friendly, she kept referring to him as a her, child-friendly drag queen, where all she did was make jokes. And I'm like, well, why at your event did you need to have a drag queen that was an MC for the holidays? I don't understand it. Everybody acting like Regina George while hating on Regina George, right?
I will say, I don't think that there's anything specifically wrong with a person dressed in drag at an event. I don't think that's inherently wrong. What is wrong is when that person dressed in drag at the event involves sexuality specifically.
But
so,
all drag is inherently based on
in some
sex.
ways, yes and no. I mean, there's definitely, I mean, like a drag show itself is inherently sexual. It's a type of burlesque. But I don't know how to define it because it's a weird line for me, because there's a difference to me between a man who enjoys dressing up in an outlandish female outfit and then doing jokes at an event and assuming they're not, sexual jokes. And one who dresses in a very obviously sexual manner. Because, I mean, we're talking the difference here between wearing a ball gown and lingerie. Those are two very different things.
If I'm going to have a woman emceeing an event and it's family friendly, okay? If she has a slit up to her hip bone and a plunge in her dress,
that would be inappropriate.
Down to about here,
yeah,
down to her mid-sternum. But everything she says is fine. It is not the same thing as her having a sweetheart neckline and an A-line dress.
That's right. Those are I mean,
and to me,
there's degrees.
Anytime you have a drag queen, it's the plunge neckline. It's the slit up to the hip. To me, there's no need to have it at a family event. If you want to have maybe a 16 plus event, a 15 plus event, okay, because at that point the kid knows. I do not believe there is any need for young kids, for family, to need to have that in a holiday event. The only reason you have that is because you're trying to push them. Because that's my thing. Make it make sense. That's the thing. What reason do you have that drag queen? Is this drag queen known for their Christmas work? No. Is this drag queen known for their love of the Christian religion? No. Is this drag queen someone who only does Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus? Like, this is the problem. Like, it is subjective, Dirk, but this is my thing. My question is, just like with anyone else, it's like having a firefighter. Oh, we're gonna have a firefighter MC the Christmas holiday event. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, well, it's just because they're a firefighter. Okay, but give me a reason. Is this firefighter someone that saved a lot of families one Christmas from major fires. Okay, well then it makes sense. Get call me sometime and I can explain the
Oh,
mentally
hey,
ill.
lovely. Sorry.
But this is my problem. Like, nobody can make it make sense beyond, well, why not? The thing is, our why not mentality is why we have so many issues. And I don't know if I said it on this stream before, but it's like I said to Gothics once, because we were talking about the degradation of society. And I will tell you, in my personal opinion, what really started it was casual Fridays. And let me explain. When we started deciding that we didn't need to look nice going out and we could just roll out of bed and walk out into the world, that was the first I don't give a shit about nobody situation. Because when you walk out into the world looking like you just rolled out of bed, and maybe this is just my upbringing, and you don't brush your hair, you don't make sure your clothing matches or even fits properly, you don't care if there's stains on your clothes, you don't care if it's your pajamas, you don't care if your shirt's see-through, you don't care if you got a bra on, you don't care if your underwear's sticking out, you don't care about any of that stuff. What you're telling the rest of the world is you don't care about them, you don't care about anyone else's comfort, you don't care about making sure society looks a little better. And this, I say it because right now, imagine how many kids go out, especially during our generation, and they wear the fluffy pajama pants, spike heels, a tight tank top with a neon colored bra you could see straight through, but a full face of makeup. That was the look. Oh, and a messy bun, because you got to have it all topped off.
I live in Montana. They never really did that.
Oh no, let me tell you, that was the look in New England. That's how girls would go out all the time, or they would wear an Uggs. And the thing is, it literally looked like from the neck down, all they cared about was that they were comfy, but they didn't care if it looked appropriate or they looked proper. And the thing is, I don't care if you're not dressed. I don't care if it's spike heels and a full pantsuit or whatever. I just care that your shirt is neat, your shirt fits you, your pants are neat, your pants fit you, and your shoes are clean. That's what I mean by looking nice. I don't mean you got to dress expensive. I don't mean you got to dress to the nines. But I think you should look clean and crisp and appropriate. Now, you have a lot to say. I can see that.
I mean, I understand where you're coming in some cases, but for me, I don't know anybody that.
It's not about owing.
I don't owe the world that. You should absolutely leave the house clean. That's, honestly more about self-respect to me than about everybody else. But and there's all sorts of things to go by. I mean, if we're going to talk about how fashions have changed compared to Victorian era, we're all basically harlots.
Oh yes. So. And that's why I say it's not necessarily that I'm saying you've got to go out the way they did in the 50s with full face makeup, full coiffed hair. You got to have that's the thing. And what was your first reaction? Because it's exactly what I said. I don't know anyone that. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, but we expect society to respect certain things, to give back certain things. And so that's part of.
I find that's part of the problem is I find society spends way too much time trying to judge people based on what they look as opposed to what they do.
I think both are important because the thing is, what you do for yourself is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Because what do they say? When you're depressed, you bathe less. You don't take care. You don't brush your teeth. You don't dress properly. You may not take care of your weight. Like these do play a part, and
they do.
What do we? And so that's what I'm saying. Like it does play some kind of role in it. And
but
so
while maybe you can make a general assumption based on those things, people spend way too much time going with the generalities as opposed to finding about the specifics of a person. It's like the whole thing going on to the internet today with the shooting that just occurred. People are upset because some people aren't using the correct pronouns for the person who did it. And they look at that action towards that individual as an action towards the group. And it's something that you see echoed throughout everything. I'm fat, therefore I must be lazy and not care about myself. It's all through all sorts of things. And I do think that too much generalization is definitely an issue. And you
I
can
don't
ask Sheep
agree.
about this. We have this argument all the time because I am so caught up on the idea that the individual is what matters, and I'm sick and tired of people generalizing things. So
I think it's both, because I do agree overgeneralization doesn't work, because then it erases nuance. So I agree. But I also do feel there are some generalizations that work because, we're going over the majority of what that is. Complaining about the proper pronouns for a murderer, especially the murderer of children, I think that speaks more to their level of character than the character of whoever's misgendering someone.
oh
Because
my
I'm
God,
sorry,
things
this girl, right? This girl marched into her former school and she murdered 3 children. And that's what stuck in my head. Afterwards, I wanted to know what she looked like. I wanted to know her political leaning. But the first thing I thought is there's 3 families tonight who don't have their children.
You see, for me, that stuff still doesn't matter, because no matter what those things are, left, right, center, up or down, that was a person with a problem.
Right.
No,
And
a bad
And
problem.
that's what I'm getting to. Because that's exactly what I'm getting to. Because the problem is, and I've been going over the last few days, and this is going into a completely different topic, but I think it's a good one to cover. I have identified, in my opinion, where transgenderism and these pronoun things come from. And even to an extent, some people who are gay, bi, lesbian, whatever. A lot of this stems from trauma. Straight up, it stems from a trauma that wasn't addressed. There are many women that I knew growing up that became lesbian because they were raped. No other reason. They are so traumatized by the male parts that they never wanted to see it again. They didn't go to enough therapy over it. They just instead changed teams. And while that does band-aid the problem, does that heal the trauma? No. It just avoids the trauma. And this can lead into a lot of different things that we're going over. Like, you mentioned being overweight. You mentioned generalizing.
Mm-hmm.
When you call yourself an it, when you call yourself a they, you are trying to distance yourself from the gender that got damaged. You're trying to take yourself away from the person that is hurt and create another persona, so that way you can feel that hurt. But it's because I was identifying wrong, and so that's why I'm here. That's what it is. And I was talking about it with someone who's in the BOPO movement today, because people are all bitchy about the whale and how dare. That's what the video's about this week, by the way, guys. If you couldn't tell by all the shorts I've been making, and how dare the whale come out because it generalizes fat people when it didn't. It went into a lot of nuance. It went into EDs. It went into people judging homosexuals and da-da-da-da. But a lot of people only saw the fat suit, and that's where they stopped. And she was saying how diets don't work. Oh, diets never work. Diets can't work. Da-da-da-da-da. And the thing is, it's not that they don't work. It's that when you only do a crash diet just so you can lose the weight, but you never identify why you overate in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You never figure out what was wrong, whether that be a trauma, whether that be just being taught wrong. I had someone come at me. They're like, well, I eat all clean foods and I exercise regularly, but I don't lose weight. Okay, but what are you eating for your calories? What is your carb intake? What is your sugar intake? Even if it's natural sugars, if you're pounding down fruits all day long, you're
Sugar
still
is
pounding
sugar.
down a lot of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, like, whether or not it's clean food, if you're overtaking calories, you're still overeating. Like, there are a lot of people who are in the BOPO movement that make these videos where they're like, how I eat as a fat person who doesn't want to lose weight. And they sit there and go, but I eat well. Okay, yes. You're eating whole foods. You're eating clean foods. but you're eating 7 meals a day and 5 snacks.
Yep. Well, in the end, it still comes down to calories.
Right. And so the reason why I bring that up is, yes, it's bad to generalize, but at the same time, I can generalize these situations down to what you said. That girl didn't go in and murder people just for the hell of it. She went into, and I do believe her politics do play a role, and here's why. She went into a Christian school that she had attended. So she was redirecting trauma to Christianity. She was redirecting rage and personal to that. That's the assumption I'm making because of her assumption. I say it's assumption. To her ideology, to her identity. We don't know, we won't know until more evidence comes out. But the fact of the matter is, there is a trauma she redirected onto innocent people because nobody fixed it within her. She transitioned because of some trauma, whatever it was. Maybe a priest or a pastor had hurt her at that school. We don't know. Maybe somebody told her she was a sinner. She wanted to take, who knows? But the fact of the matter is, some trauma, some mental health issue happened in her. And she was affirmed in her mental health issues rather than resolved. She didn't go to somebody and have someone challenge her and ask, well, why do you feel this way? Well, why are you hurting this? Well, why do you want to do this? I don't hear that anymore. I hear your feelings are valid, your pain is valid, and your anger is valid. And the problem
Validation's an issue.
That's what I was getting to. I know I was sounding like I was running down a weird rabbit hole, but that's why. When you validate someone's overeating, when you validate someone dressing messy in public, when you validate someone acting a fool in public, when you validate someone and their mental health, rather than challenging them and saying, hey, what you're doing is unhealthy, let's unpack why you're doing it, so that way you can go on to a healthier thing. Just like why people drink, why people smoke, why people do drugs. Those are more obvious vices, but there's a reason. Just like with animal hoarding, going back to animals, people hoard animals for vast reasons, but one of them being because they lacked love in some capacity, and animals give like unconditional.
Even if you neglect them, yep. And
dogs,
that's what they almost always end up doing.
And see, the thing is, that's why you'll see dogs get hoarded even more than cats, because cats will eventually escape out the door. 9 out of 10, unless they're caged, cats find a way to escape. With dogs, they just want you to love them. Oh, I'm the only one this dog comes to. Oh, I'm the only, and see, yeah, Jazz Jennings. With Jazz, that one's painful. I found out just how bad it's gotten with him. Oh my God. That kid, like, I was talking to someone, I forgot who it was, and I was telling them, I thought I was trans. Okay? From the age of 14 to 16, I thought I was trans. Because everyone told me how ugly I was. Everyone told me how unattractive I was. Everyone told me that shut up, you. He said, it's not true. It's not true. And people told me.
He's biased.
He's a little biased, guys. But I was told that I wasn't a good enough woman. There weren't enough drugs in the world to make me attractive. And I found women attractive. So my brain said, I must not be a very good girl. I was supposed to be a boy. And I actively had a plan. I had a plan. I was researching it. There wasn't much information at the time on the internet. But imagine if I was 14 today. And I felt the validation from the internet to do it. I would not be a woman. I'd have gone on these blockers. Zoro, did you hear that? Could you hear that? Zoro's getting on the counter, guys. Like, this is the problem. And that's what I was getting to. Mass shootings are going up because in the last few years, We have validated people's rage and anger and mental health and told them they're right to feel angry. Rage against the patriarchy, Antifa, anti-fascist, da 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 da. We keep telling people it's okay to feel this rage and to be mad at the inanimate, vague figure of the patriarch, the white man, or whatever it might be. You, sir, were naughty. You, sir, were so bad. I heard Daddy yell at you. But go. I know you. I can see the pregnant silence. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you're right. I don't disagree entirely. I think in the end, I would probably disagree if we were to start talking about specifics of how to fix it. But I don't entirely disagree because, yeah, I mean, over not helping people help themselves is where we've gotten. We've gotten to the point where people are told they can do this, that, or the other, and as long as you're doing the right thing, and the right thing being whatever they think it is at the time, you're okay. It's okay to go punch that Yahtzee because they're a Yahtzee.
Yeah.
And it's okay to attack women who are trying to stand up for their own ability to speak because you're a trans woman who is being oppressed. Doesn't matter that you're still a man and you shouldn't be hitting women or anybody. I mean, just to be clear, if a woman hits you first, you absolutely hit that girl back. That's equality. But yeah, I mean,
these hands are for all ages. They know equality, baby.
But yeah, no, it's a problem. I mean, and then there's the problem of how they track these stats and how they use those stats to politicize things. And in the end, politics ruins everything because politics are part of what's keeping people from getting this help. Because instead of helping people, they need them to be crazy so that they can direct them the way they want them to be going.
100%.
It's a sad world in many ways.
And Bublito, actually, I put it up on screen so that we see it. Bublito said it perfectly. This is not limited to the left, guys. This is not. Because I have seen more in the last year. We on the right have taken one too many cues from the left. And
that was cute.
It wasn't gonna come out right. It fought me.
But it won.
It won. Now my eye is watering. Anyway. Bitch. Anyway. Sorry about that, guys. What was I saying? Oh yeah.
No way to ruin my moment.
Damn sneeze. Ouch. Damn spot. Anyways, so when you see on the right, we've had a little bit of the radicalization too. We've gone a little too crazy. We've gone a little too. We've zhuzhed it up a little bit. We've gone a little too radical as well. I don't agree with everything that is being said. I do believe that it is a direct reaction to the negative things, and I can understand why it happened. Doesn't mean I agree with it. Where I have a warring thing is, as a Christian and as a Catholic, I'm supposed to believe in certain things. But as an American, I do believe my American rights award me the right to have my Catholic beliefs. So I always say, you have the right to do whatever you want, and I don't want to illegalize things. I don't want to take away anyone's rights to do anything within reason. There are certain things you should not be allowed to do. Yes, there are certain things you should not be allowed to do.
Okay.
Like,
you shouldn't kill people. That's bad.
It got me. Anyway. I'm just a plethora of noises tonight. Anyways, I believe there are certain things you shouldn't be allowed to do. I think there should be regulations on some stuff. But I also believe that there are freedoms that we are rewarded here. Like, I don't agree with what Uganda is doing. I don't. But considering what's happening here, I understand why Uganda took that role, because it is a slippery slope. That being said, I also don't agree with us going against international laws and threatening Uganda because they're doing what we don't like. We're not allowed to do that, kids.
Well, it's a twofold thing for me. That's their goddamn country. Let them do what the fuck they want to with it.
It's not
Now, I don't have to agree with what they do, but guess what? That's part of why I live here and not there.
Why are you gay? I know. Cannibalism, yes, it's one of them.
I mean, if you're hungry enough.
See, right? You know, listen, it's the mountains. There was a plane crash, but
sometimes.
And see, I agree. And see, someone came at me sideways the other day about me endorsing just pearly things on my feminism video. I don't endorse everything she does. That's first and foremost, because the girl is very out of touch with a lot of reality. She is young. She hasn't had many serious relationships. I know of only one she's had. I know it was semi-long term. But she was with a guy that was already kind of making it. He was already making TikTok money, had a lot of endorsements. And, you know, she says a lot of things that are out of touch. I don't disagree with her about feminism to an extent. I do believe women do have it easier right now. I do believe women get away with a lot of things that purely because it's the pendulum switch.
Swing, yeah.
Swing. I know it's going to listen. It's all fuzzy up there. That's why I have my animal sister to correct me when I'm wrong. But it's like, I think it's because there's a guilty society that saw how bad it was for us before. And they want to give us some leeway. Kind of like how you were really too hard with your first two kids. Well, now you've got your youngest kid, and that kid gets away with everything. That's how I see it. And the problem is a lot of people that don't agree with me live in countries where, just like with my friend that I lost, they live in countries where there is oppression of women, where women aren't allowed to do certain things. There are many countries, even modern countries like Japan and China and South Korea, where women still have a lot of things that go against them, and they can't do a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of societal pressures, and we don't have that here. And so a lot of times, whenever we get people that don't agree with us, it's because they don't understand that we don't have the actual oppression they have. And
yeah, we are certainly not oppressed.
No. Hi, Paige Ashley. I don't think I've ever seen you on my YouTube before. Paige Ashley, here, I'm gonna tell you guys. See this young lady? She is my most dedicated Twitter follower. My most dedicated. Anything I tweet, this girl's on it. She is liking it. She is retweeting it. She absolutely pumps up my ego. So, hello, Paige. I had to point that out.
Yo, hey, Second Street Marvel. Good to see you. Sweet dreams.
Oh yeah. Well, it is closing in on midnight, so. But I don't know. I think that there's a fine line. Well, I'm still getting warm. I'm getting those
hot flashes. You look like you're having some kind of attack every time.
So, like, all right, this is where I'm gonna sound so retarded. When you sneeze, does it like tickle up the back of your brain a little bit?
Sometimes.
And that's what I'm fighting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to attack the itch, and I can't reach in there and scratch the brain.
No.
I love you, ladies. First time in the chat. Oh, well,
good to see you.
And I appreciate all the support. We love you too. She's always up on there. I recognize you immediately, girl. I'm up later than usual. Listen, I'm not, except for lately. God Almighty, is this sneezing like rearranging my brain? It could be. Who knows what? Watch what? I don't think sneezing is supposed to tickle your brain. But it happens to her too. Sneezing sometimes hurts.
Usually because I got something stuck back in my sinuses back there, and it's fluttering in the sneeze. Ugh.
So for
I hate
me,
that feeling.
I made spicy. So I know one of the reasons why I'm sneezing. One, I took this so I wouldn't be stuffy during stream. So my nasal passages are already really sensitive. Before I took it, fuck you, Bublito. And before I took it, I made
Doing this for
Starman.
ages.
Right? Piece of shit. It's those French Canadians for you. You know what we do? We blame Canada.
I was called Canadian today. I've never been more insulted in my life.
I'm so sorry. You're not a Canadian to me,
I
baby.
know.
You are American. You are a mountain goddess, and you remember that.
Oh God, don't say you're only as old as you feel. In that case, I'm dead.
Oh God, then today I'm 102. But I was making Starman his favorite spicy tomato sauce. And the thing is, I use, like, when I say a handful, like a mound of red chili flakes for it, and I use chili oil.
Mm.
So because he likes it really spicy, and I put in 12 garlic cloves that I fresh cut. So
Nice.
this shit had some bite to it. And so it was all up in my nostrils. And so I already knew when I came on stream I might be a little sneezy. I didn't think I'd be this sneezy. What the fuck, LOL, true. Pretty sure it's what, ew, what do maps believe? Ew.
You're only as old as you feel. That's, yeah.
Ew. Oh. Yeah, last night when I was at work, everyone else was gone. And I thought Ark had left. And I turned on my offensive list. Because I have a playlist. I have a privated, but I have a playlist of offensive songs. And South Park is obviously on there. And I was singing Kyle's Mom is a Big Fat Bitch, and he comes in laughing, and I was like, oops, I thought you was gone.
Yeah, somehow I don't think that's going to offend him.
No, it was the other stuff. It was the Stephen Lynch songs that I was a little nervous about. Ooh. Now, see, you know who he is. And see, what's funny is nobody knows. I had to explain, even to my coworker who's your age. I don't think you even know what I'm about to say. So Scotty doesn't know. Do you know the song?
I probably do, but I would have to hear it again. My brain's
Scotty
getting old.
doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Do you recognize that at all?
Yes.
Okay. So if you ever watched Eurotrip, one of my favorite songs in the entire world is Scotty Doesn't Know. And the reason why I like that song is it's the funniest troll in the whole movie. Leah knows it. And see, Stephen Lynch is also something like my favorite song by Stephen Lynch is The Old Pub and When Grandfather Dies. And Grandfather Dies I related to because my dad's sperm donor was a dick and we couldn't wait till he was dead. So we sang that because we did get inheritance from him. So it's 100% true. It was 100% true, that song for me. But Leah effing does. Leah knows. I love that song. And see, that's why I have it as my ringtone. So Leah, if you know the movie, you'll know why, especially I have Sky Doesn't Know as my phone ringtone. You need to watch the movie. It is a good movie. Like, I genuinely enjoy it.
I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
Watch it again. I miss when offensive movies came out.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
still not looking forward to almost any. Oh no. Keep talking.
Just hit the mute and let it happen.
I can't. No, because the problem is when my nose is sensitive, sometimes it might not happen.
Oh,
so it's
the long tickle. I hate those.
And
yeah.
I like sneezing, although. So my back was locked up last night.
Oh.
And I had a sneeze, and I literally screamed because I was laying back. I was in the zero gravity position, going to bed, and I sneezed, and I went,
oh,
like, yeah. I felt all these pieces of my back just up, and I sat there for a second. I'm like, did I blow out a disc? Oh my god, what happened? Like, I was scared. Like, I sat there for a minute, like, I don't know if this is a good thing or not. I don't know if
Yeah.
the joke will still land with the younger folks have no idea. Unless you watch the movie, the joke doesn't land at all. But society here in the States, no matter right. I love it. I just love it so much. I love that movie. I haven't watched it in so long though. I need to watch it again. In this case with Brian
What would Brian Boitano do?
That was on my playlist too. You ladies need to get a Chrissy Mayer's Simcast. She would never have me on page. Honestly, I'm not thin enough. That's just the honest to God truth. There's a reason why it's called a Simcast. Chrissy has exceedingly right-wing version attractive women. I am not one of them. And I am no shame in that, but it's just the truth.
I don't think I'd fit in either. I just wouldn't.
No, it could have been worse, Starson. You could have hit the testicles by a TSA agent. I just don't believe that story.
I do. I mean, I don't believe that.
I don't believe she
okay, let me rephrase that. I don't believe the full story the person gave. I do believe there's a really good chance the poor TSA agent overly aggressively fondled them because of they were, didn't expect that to be there.
Let me tell you something. As a fat ass who gets overly fondled by TSA every time I go through, here's what I will tell you guys. If you are over a certain BMI and if your thighs touch, you are going to get groped every time you're in TSA. And let me tell you something. You see, you're not as big as me though, honey.
I'm taller.
You're taller. I have fat sags on me, baby cakes. Like there's things hanging.
I mean, I got that too.
No.
Just not as bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad on me. And so like I've got the fupa, but I've got like a fupa skirt, not just a and so when they
I could probably get a candy bar in there, but
oh no, I'm pretty sure I could hide a small TV in there. And so I could at least hide 5 or 6 soda cans under my belly if I wanted to.
I think I'd be at 2 max.
I could hide a lot in there. So I know why they get pretty aggressive. And let me tell you something. If they find something hanging, they're gonna make sure what you hanging is attached, and not inserted or being held by the pants. And so that's why I'm saying, guys, we're gonna steal them TVs. And so that's why I'm saying, guys, like if you get felt up by the TSA, like I know the last time when I flew to Texas, my thighs, right in between, I got the little fat pocket. She gripped him a little bit. She didn't try to be hurtful, but it still happened.
Yeah.
And so, oh, guys, that's Axel being a little fun. If you see that little green ball, that's one of those little. I'm sorry, my ADHD is in full blown right now. I turned around and saw it, so cute. So he's being a little cat loaf. You know those little circles that have the cardboard scratcher in the middle and a little ball that goes around?
Yeah.
He's sleeping on.
Aww.
Oh, Axel.
Don't disturb him.
Why not? He disturbs me. Do you know how many times he jumps on my stomach in the middle of the night? He is 15 pounds.
Yeah. Thing is he's over there leaving you alone.
Yeah.
You wake him up, he might not.
He never, in the middle of the night, do you know my knees hurt all the time now, guys? Because of him. Because Axel has decided between my legs is the perfect place to sleep.
I have nights I wake up with a back pain because I can't roll over because some asshole is laying on my chest and won't move.
Calliope and Zorro. Those are my chest sleepers. And see, Nova used to sleep between me and Starman all the time. But when we started letting the kittens out at night, all night long, Calliope needs some help. We're going to figure out how to get her to stop being so resource guardy.
Everything.
Yeah, hold on. Good night, Leah. You have been a darling member. Listen, if you guys need to go to bed, go to bed. We know we do this late. Horror and I have really wanted to do this because whenever we get on stream, we always talk about animals. And she is just someone really cool that I've wanted to vibe with for a while anyway. So when she was like, we should do a stream together, I was like, yes. If you insist, it's just your idea. And so,
wait, I thought it was your idea.
No, it wasn't mine. Totally her idea. I didn't corner her about it. And so shut up, Frog. And so, and so I was like, we had to work out when and when it. What was hilarious is when we were figuring out our schedule, I had a much more open schedule. And when I started working at the restaurant, thank God it worked out in my to my advantage. But yeah, so we understand that it's late. We kind of just want an excuse to talk. We don't care. That's why we're not really too concerned if we advertise about it or not, because we're gonna go live and talk either way.
Yeah.
Might be
I still try to send out a tweet or two, but
right. On weeks like these last few weeks where we've had almost puppies, cats with swollen tails, and there's my little helper.
hey, Arkasul.
Cats with swollen tails, weddings, baby showers, St. Patrick's Day events, all sorts
illnesses, fibro flares,
sinus infections, injured knees, all that shit. You missed me praising you earlier, Ark.
Yeah, she was saying great things about you. Now that you're here, we have to talk bad.
We had to talk badly about you now. I didn't even tell the fun shit. But no, I have a weapon up my sleeve if he tries to pull some shit tonight. He knows it. So
Nice.
I'm gonna hold that in the back pocket. But whatchamacallit. Oh no, but yeah, we know it's late. We understand. There's just we wanted to be able to talk. And so we talk. About all sorts of things. Oh, see, Axel got up on his own. I didn't even have to disturb him. See?
Yeah. All right. We had a truce.
I have not said anything. Just saying. What are we gonna write about? We praise Ark, but not me. I praise you all the time, Frog. You don't. So he's all pissed because I won't give him back his full privileges on my Discord. Why? Because Bubs is naughty. And he does naughty things when he has his full status.
Oh.
He abuses power. So I had to be the good mother and take it away for a while. She calls me when she's beefing with someone. I do not. Usually he offers. Don't lie. You usually, and yes, you do. He is usually the first in my inbox. Or sometimes he don't even tell me till it's too late.
Oh, no.
He already on that. All I did was put a frog. You are lying. You lying.
It's not the frog. It's what type of frog?
The fraud sometimes does naughty things like banning people, unbanning people, tying people out, purely to be a troll to them. And I told him if he kept doing it, I was going to take away the power.
What else did I do?
I'm literally saying it right now. Like, for instance, the other night, okay, there is a new young lady in my Discord. She just started following me. Honestly, I think due to the fan art drama. I'm staying out of this one. Exactly, Ark. Stay out.
Right choice.
Only to Arkansas. Does he really classify as people? Bubs, don't you start with me. And so, if it's one, it's all. Because here's what he did, right? So there was a thing he wanted to say to this young lady, but she's new. And so he private messages me and says, I want to say this. Can I say it? In the public chat. And I said, no, and here's why. Well, Bubs didn't like that I said no and didn't wait the literal 2.5 seconds for me to type the rest of it. He screenshot what he wanted to say anyway and posted it in the public chat. And then said, well, you didn't elaborate. I said, go look. The next fucking sentence I elaborated.
Yeah, when someone asks that kind of question, you have to go no, comma, and then the rest, and then hit enter. You can't just say no, enter, and then hit the rest.
And free frog. No, you're not.
No, you're a frog in jail.
I do what I want.
Except for whatever you want in her Discord server.
But what is that black kid saying? What did I do? What did I do? And so that is why certain little tadpoles had their lily pads taken away. That is the problem. No, it's just I
Oh.
don't know why I did it because it didn't do it again. Weird. Oh my god. I do what I want. He's a pain in my ass. He is. This Discord would be crumbling if it wasn't for me. Listen, who set up the Discord? I set it. He never gives me credit for that. I set up that whole Discord on my own. I was very proud of myself. I demand power.
Those who demand it are the ones least able to handle it.
But I did call out Ark
Yeah.
a little because he told me a little backstory when Bub was like, "Hey, don't do this," and Ark was like, "Oh, this presses giant shiny button," and I was like, "You can't get mad if he does it to you. If you do it to him." He's like, "It's not the same thing." Yes, it is. You then when I went over every single fucking thing because you goofed it. I did not goof it. You're such a liar. Oh my god. Any hoodly. So, what were we talking about before we went
Oh,
off?
God only knows at this stage.
God almighty. But no, what was I? There was something else about animals. Oh, I'm pulling the logs. What logs? Hey, it wasn't the same thing. It is the same thing. Be right fucking back. And where are you gonna post them? This is the chat.
I could post them in the Discord, I suppose.
I mean, he could. That's true. Tiana had to kiss a frog, and now he wants privileges. I'm out, ladies in chat. Good night, Derp. You'll see them on Wednesday, oh, Moon, that's a cute. Which one is that one? Is that the Moon? I can't tell. Even Ark abuses his mod.
Ooh.
Ark, you're getting called out by Moon. Ooh. Moon, I would never. I got a dip. Love you, Star Sun and Hara. Thank you for
Hi,
coming
Paige.
around, Paige.
Thanks for stopping in.
I think it's about the airport situation. Oh, it's right. And so that's
right.
why I tell people, guys, if you're going to get felt up, don't go further. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's weird. Sorry.
Oops.
I'm fuming. But whatchamacallit? Listen, Ark, if there's one thing we could say about Moon, she doesn't lie.
Ooh.
And I will say this. Moon's pretty honest. Have you been a naughty boy? You done things wrong. So in the future then, but right. He is going to screenshot everything from here on out. He is going to be like, and he's going to post it in my chat just to make sure maybe I do. See?
Yep.
That's why I say you can't get mad if the fraud son does something if you do it too. That's the truth. The other night, though, you want to talk about animals. You want to talk about animal abuse. And I love her. But if anyone watches any of Leon's streams, you know who Just Peachy is. The other night, I'm in the middle of editing. It is 11:45 at night. And I get a phone call from Leon. Like, actual phone call. And I'm like, so normally 11 o'clock at night, you're calling me, it's an emergency. I wanted to get my editing done. Well, let's just say I went to bed after I got off this call because he kept me on that long. He says, I need you to get on Discord. I'm like, why? He goes, Peachy has something to tell you. And I'm like, okay. Well, he's on live. This is the bacon crimes. Yes, Rachel. Peachy told me the most criminal thing I've ever heard. Peachy takes raw bacon and microwaves it. And that's how she eats it.
Ugh.
And my heart. And so I said to her, sweetheart, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
I was like, no. And we started going through all these food crimes that she was telling us. And I was just like, no. Why? Oh my God. It was painful. It was painful to listen to. Oh, hell no. Right. See, Leon's blocked Bublito. So he doesn't. Because Leon told Bublito, don't send me this particular thing. And Bublito did it anyway. And so Leon said, fuck you. And so So what Leon can't see half of what Leon posts, but yeah. When she said that, I was like, are you serious? And she was like, yeah, and that's how I was raised. And I was like, but you have parents. You're what?
Did they not have pots and pans?
That's just how her dad learned to do it. And I was like, but Ludo is forever blocked by everyone, right? I'm gonna DM you. I'll be right back, guys, because that tea is hitting now, and I need to potty. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Do you want to take over for a moment, darling?
Oh yeah, I'll go for it.
There we go. I'll be back, kids.
All right, everybody. So the best way to cook bacon, since we're on the subject, is you put it on a sheet pan, preferably one with the thing, so that the thing, yeah, like a drip tray or a cooling rack that's oven safe. You put it on top of the pan. You put it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, and it's great. It'll come out crispy, but not too crispy. You might have to watch it in your oven depending on when your oven is. But that is the best way to cook bacon. Good night, Arcasul. Sweet dreams. The inner Italian in Star Sin is crying a speech. He talks about all the war crimes she committed food. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, 20 minutes at about 400 degrees. Might have to go a little longer, a little less, depending on how your oven is. Put it in as it's cooking, as it's heating up. Don't let it get to temperature first. Put it in right away. And let that heat it. Now, depending on your oven, you also might want to turn it around, but most of the time you don't have to. But yes, in the oven is absolutely the best way. You get about 20 minutes then to do your eggs and everything on the stove. You don't have to worry about the bacon spitting everywhere. I mean, it's still good in the pan, but at that point, if you're going to do it in a pan, start with the pan cold. You put it flat. Well, that's why I told him to put them on a cooking sheet. Then you don't have to worry about the draining or the flipping. If it's on not a cooking sheet, but a cooling rack, an oven safe cooling rack. So it's got the space so it drips down. The only time a microwave's really good is one, to heat up food. Just to heat up food. Depends on you. I mean, I do like my bacons done. Someone said to do it with olive oil? What the fuck? That's just wrong. No, you do not put oil in your pan. You start with a cold pan, preferably cast iron. If you don't have cast iron, that's fine. But you start with the cold pan, you lay it down, and you let it cook on one side. You put it about medium heat, like 5 or 6, depending on the type of stove you have. Not too hot, because otherwise you're going to burn it, and it's going to be all wrong. But you let it go for a little while on one side, 5 or 6 minutes. Flip it, 5 or 6 more minutes, and then at that point you're cooking to your preferred doneness. I like mine nice and crispy, so I usually cook mine longer. Oh yeah, egg frying in bacon fat is delicious, but thing is if you do it in the oven, you can then pull it out, and you can pull the bacon fat and put it in the pan if you really want to fry your eggs in the bacon fat. I like mine in butter a little more, just because I like butter. But that's me. I like bacon fat for other things. But yeah, that putting in the oven will give you good crispy bacon. If you like it done more, you can do it more. But that is the best way to cook bacon. Lately, I've been getting into more Asian foods. I don't know why. So I haven't had a chance to eat a lot of bacon, but I need to find more sliced side pork, which is like bacon, but it's not bacon because it's not been, smoked or cured. Cured, that's the word, cured. And you still got all the fat. I tried to do it in the oven the other day, overcooked it just a little. It's a little too chewy in the meat, but the fat was nice and crispy. It's one of those things. I'm running out of things to talk about. Come on, guys, talk to me. But yeah, no, you don't. Olive oil is good for some things, though. You can do your eggs in olive oil sometimes. Actually, fried eggs in olive oil can be good if you want to poach them that way. So the bacon became beef jerky. Basically, yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, it was a little too chewy. I served it over rice with gochujang sauce and some cabbage slaw. It wasn't a bad meal. It was just a little. The bacon was just a little chewy. I feel like I should have done something to the cabbage, like put it in a skillet. Ooh, if I'd done the cabbage in a skillet with some of that bacon grease with some of the pork fat, that would have actually, just you don't want to do it too much so it loses its crunch, but you just do it a bit, and then it has a nice bacony flavor. I was trading a ram for a pig, cured and dressed, and asked if the entire pig can be made into bacon. Yeah, it's really disappointing when you finally learn there's only so much space for bacon on the pig. Keep the bacon grease and use it to cook some pierogies. That's a good way to do it. I think I had a stroke while typing this. I think you did too, because you literally gave me a stroke while reading it. And it's funny because you can also save your bacon grease to give to birds. I didn't know birds would want bacon grease. I can't do that because if I tried to put my bacon grease outside, my dogs would eat it. How do you give it to birds? I guess you could use it to cake birdseed? I don't know. As is, if you give the dog something with any amount of bacon grease on it, you can guarantee they will lick it clean or try to just eat it. Apparently, she'll explain in a minute. Of course, you guys can read chat, so I don't know why I read that out loud. That's fine. She'll be back in a moment. Yep, I know. Don't mind me. The fuck kind of bird you got out there, pterodactyls? You put dried oatmeal in it and it soaks up. Yeah, that makes sense. My other thought was when I was little, I had a gummy bears activity book, if you guys remember the Disney gummy bears. And you could they had a activity where you took birdseed and peanut butter and made, peanut butter bells for the birds. I bet you could do the same thing with the bacon. Like to make scrambled eggs with cheese and put it between two bagel slices. That sounds good. Would you consider yourself a redhead? I am technically a redhead, actually. Technically more of a strawberry blonde. My hair's dyed a little darker. You can barely see the roots. Like right here. But I am technically a strawberry blonde. I just dye it a little darker. So I would be a redhead. But chickens love all sorts of things. I want chickens so bad. I was looking, we went to the North 40, which is a ranching store up here. And we went to buy some pants for Sheepsidian. And we stopped outside to look at, they had some of the cutest little chicken coops. If I only knew where to put my chickens, I would have chickens, just because I love eggs. Strawberry blonde, don't tell radio, she might put you in a fruit salad. I do love strawberries. They are the best fruit. Breast fruit? Whatever. So is trans red. I'm just not as red as most redheads. So I'm lucky the color comes out so well on me. But I've actually dyed my hair all sorts of colors. I was at one point, I basically had mermaid hair. I had green, blue, and purple all the way down. It was a really nice color. Actually, I really liked that blue. It was a really bright, dark sapphire. But then I got tired of people assuming I thought certain ways because I had my hair dyed. I was at a Tractor Supply store, stopped to stare at the chicks and said to no one in particular, I think I need more chickens. I heard someone say, no, you don't. I don't know, but they're wrong. You need more chickens. Ammo's pronounced or ginger. Just don't get those letters mixed up and we'll be good. I imagine it was likely it'd be funny if it was what are those things called? Customer service employee, an employee of the store, and they're just tired of hearing people constantly say, "I think I need more chickens," and that they just finally said, "No, you don't." It just happened to be you. But yeah, the Tractor Supply store, North 40, had chickens in it last year. I stopped and looked at them. I was actually I found it interesting that buying a baby chick is so inexpensive. I was very surprised by that. Of course, you don't really know what sex they are when you buy them, do you? So you kind of gotta guess, don't you? Because I know they can be sexed, I guess, for lack of a better word, but they don't really label them at the store. Market employees having a meltdown over chickens? Why?
So first of all, yes,
She's
they can
back.
sex them. Usually you don't get males, although once in a while they'll come in because they kind of grind them at birth. Kind of sucks. Has no one heard of suet?
Yes.
Suet is animal fat.
Yep.
So that's what I was talking about. If you want to make your own suet, buy a suet, right? Use it up, and then save the plastic. And then buy oats, beans, peanuts, seeds, and then you can mix it up and make your own suet. That's what I was talking about.
Okay, that
but
makes
you
sense.
really should fortify it with some kind of flour, probably a nut flour or an oat flour. And I'd have been back sooner, but I sneezed and I almost had an accident, so I had to run back in. And so, because I'm old.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? What were we talking about before?
Well, we were talking about Peachy's food crimes.
Oh, yeah. She said, I know the proper way to do it. And I was like, what's the proper way? She goes, you get the hot pan, you put the olive oil. I went, stop. No. I was like, why would you need olive oil? Because you got to fry it. I'm like, do you understand how much fat comes out of bacon? She's like, yeah, but you need fat. You need the oil to get it. I'm like, no, baby, no. Like, it's, But no, I do actually on a fairly often basis. I will sometimes just throw the fat right out onto the dirt because most wild animals do eat dirt, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And because they get nutrients from it. And my dirt is very nutrient rich, because especially in that area, because I have a lot of fruits and vegetables and meats that have rotted into the dirt. So it's very nutrient rich, very mineral rich. And so if I throw fat onto it and something eats the dirt, it's really not the end of the world for them. They're getting a lot of good shit out of it.
Yeah. You know, I just avoid trying. I try to avoid doing that because otherwise, then the dogs start eating the dirt.
See, I'm lucky. My dogs have a fence in the way. And I've actually tried to take it on. You only need oil if you don't have it. Even then, no, because the bacon within a few minutes, the bacon gets hot enough and it creates that layer. Bacon is one of those few things you don't need to do with, even to an extent. Like when I made those giant ass chicken legs, like that was a food crime on my part because I forgot how fucking big they'd be and how much shit would come out of them.
Oh no, yeah.
God. I told that story last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shit, that's what I gotta do when I get off the here. I have a lot of old food that I gotta throw out to the animals. And that's why I don't feel bad if food goes bad in my household, because something will eat it.
Yeah.
Either that or it's going to, they were not.
No, they were big.
Matthew, can you bring me one of the Brahma frozen legs, please? One of the biggest ones you find. They're right underneath the basket. You know what?
Starman's like, what the fuck?
Because he's probably in the middle of a game. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. No, bacon does not need oil to be cooked. Absolutely not. And yes, you should not fry in olive oil. The smoke temperature is too low. You can fry an egg in olive oil because you don't need too high a heat. But no, you should not fry like actual stuff in it. I compost, bugs make Making dirt for plants. I want to compost, but I don't really have the room for it, unfortunately. That is a long-term marinade situation. Oh no. I remember my mom came home from the store the other day and she was complaining about, or not complaining, she was talking about how large the chicken breasts on sale looked because they were massive. And I feel like chickens are being bred bigger today. Does anybody else feel that way? I mean, in many ways it makes sense. But at the same time, I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, you're not sure? It feels like it to me. But I could be wrong. I have not raised chickens, so I don't have a lot of opinion on it. Or I don't have a lot of I guess I have opinion on it. I don't have they are, and the meat is often injected with salt water. I don't think we get a lot of that here, you know? I live in Montana. They're pretty uptight about how they do that kind of stuff. So, like, you'll get the air chilled chicken. Not that it matters. Air chilled versus water chilled isn't that big a difference.
This is 1 leg quarter.
It's a big ass leg. Are you sure that's only one?
Yes.
I want to see the size of the chicken that came off.
I'm pretty sure these were Brahma chickens. Fucking freezing. This is 1 leg quarter, guys. I had to dig for this, so you're gonna give me a minute to get it back in the freezer. And there's like a couple of these are doubled up. But this is just one that I had to squeeze in and bend in half. You can even see the knuckle joint right there.
Yeah.
I had to crack it. So don't tell me these were big chickens. The big ass fucking chickens. Excuse me, Zoro.
Then again, it's been several years since I've bought meat outside of for prime rib. Calculating, remembering star cents pocket size. I believe that's a quart baggie. No. Maybe? Maybe. Looks like, yeah, it looks like a small turkey leg. Body type positivity for chickens. I don't want my chickens to be positive. I want my chickens to be dead. And delicious. Fried. I should make fried chicken again. Not this week, though. This week's going to be a busy week for food. Need to decide on the lavalier mic, but that's a separate issue. We're supposed to be getting a cow this year, as in dead, not alive. I love meat. Want my chicken to be healthy and dead? Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I get it. Healthy dead chicken. I'm not doing a very good job of being entertaining tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I was caught flat-footed. Normally I have something else to do. I'm not good at just talking. I usually play a video game at the same time. It helps. Nice to have in a deep freeze by the cows. By cows by the side. Yeah. We're getting both sides of the cow.
That was a lot of digging. And now my hands smell like tomato sauce. Because I had
you have lamb?
Huh?
Rachel Morley has lamb.
Rachel has everything.
I'm jealous. I want lamb.
I'm out of breath from bending up and down to get everything back in the freezer. So does everyone still think that was small chicken?
Rachel still thinks it's average because you're pocket-sized.
Let me see. Do I have a fucking measuring tape? What? Come here. Let me think. I'm trying to see something is a certain size.
Went to a
I'm not that small. I'm small, but not that small. I went to a fair in Florida that had chickens that I never knew. Yeah, chickens can get love you.
Oh, yeah.
Bite me, Rachel. Oh, horror is plenty entertaining. That's why I'm not worried if I gotta walk away to collect some dead chicken parts. I wasn't concerned.
I worry about it. I feel sometimes like I miss the mark. But
Listen, I'm boisterous. It's okay.
yeah, I've been realizing lately that I guess I shouldn't say lately. I often have to re-come to terms with the fact that apparently I am a relaxing energy.
You are. I think sometimes you match energy, and sometimes I've heard you get boisterous, even when you're not on stream. There's things that get you excitable, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you.
Mm,
But I think we make a good pair.
yeah.
So I see nothing wrong with it. But yeah, when it comes to I really want what I need is for someone to hand me a couple of $1,000 with no strings attached so that I can get my chicken coop back up and running.
Yep.
So I can get the fence moved.
Mm.
So I can buy some chickens. Because
Chickens actually aren't that expensive.
well, I'm getting I am Chamanis, so and all the I am Chamanis that I was gonna get last season, they're now all adults.
Oh.
So I now have to wait until there's another clutch of chicks born because I want to hand raise them. It's not
Yeah.
that I wouldn't take the adults. The problem is that these adults weren't super hand raised, and I want to hand raise these chickens.
Yeah, that makes sense. You make a good pear. I don't like pears. They're my least favorite
I
fruit.
don't like. Do you know that pears have natural stones that develop them? That's that. Oh, don't tell me it's another fucking mouse.
It's going down, guys.
Hold on. See that?
Uh-huh.
There are all the dog toys over the floor. I don't know if he's not acting like he's trying to go to the bathroom. Oh, thank God, I think he is. See, that's where the other mouse was. Thank God my cat's taking a shit. Because see, I don't know if you heard that little kerfuffle for a second, but it sounded like he'd seen another mouse, and then he was looking between the litter boxes, and I'm like, I really don't want to find another carcass tomorrow morning. What? And see,
You probably will anyway.
Starman says to me this morning when he left, and I want quails. Is that your phone? Someone's phone is buzzing. It's vibrating. You can hear it. Weird. Anyways, do you hear it?
No.
It stopped, but I swear to God, I just heard it. Yeah, I'm going to have my chickens named. Like, a lot of people don't get it, but I want to name my chickens. And if I can get my cats to come to their names, I can get the chickens to do it. See, there it is again.
Well, is it this?
Right there just happened.
I'm playing with the watch band I have, but I don't.
No, it's like when you hear a phone ringing when it's on vibrate. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't hear it.
Gotta be something here then, but I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm not. I
Can't lose what you didn't have.
I have very sensitive hearing and I can hear it. Babe, are you in the middle of a battle? I can hear. I swear to God, I can hear the vibrating ringtone thing going off somewhere here in the room. Oh, you hear it too? Oh, I'm not crazy. So where the fuck is it coming from? Are you going to bed? Oh. But you could hear it too. It's not your phone? So it's somewhere in this house. I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's a mouse vibrating.
Shut up. I'm going crazy now, guys.
Yeah, I had so in high school, in our biology class, they actually gave us chicks to teach a trick.
You guys can go outside and check.
I don't know. There was some kind of behavioral thing they wanted us to do, and me and my partner, we trained our chick to jump through a closed hatch on our cardboard box to eat some cream of wheat. I don't know why we did that.
I was like, why
Other
did
than we had to. Why? That's what we
figured out
had.
what it is. The AC unit is right here.
Oh.
And I think it's
Vibrating?
doing something. I don't know what, because we have it off. So I don't know what it's trying to do, because it's completely turned off right now. But Starman's going outside to check right now. So if he
Maybe there's
dies,
a mouse in it.
huh?
Maybe there's a mouse in it.
Well, so we believe there's cats under the house because Orion has been staring at the vents
Mm-hmm.
really intently, as if something's walking around down there, and we don't know what. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep my phone up in case Starman calls me. He's like, "Yup, it's something wrong with the AC unit." AC teaming up with Siri. Uh-oh, hold on. Let me call Starman because he just knocked on the window. Scared the shit out of me, but he knocked on the window. Hold on, babe.
Hopefully he took his phone. I don't know if she knows we can't hear her.
I do. I thought I was enunciating it properly.
Okay. Hi, Nemesis. Hi, Choco. She's on her phone with Starman because they're trying to figure out if there's something wrong with the air conditioner because she can hear a buzzing. And so at this point, I could play bad lip reading, but I'm not good at that. So, Robot Uprising begins. Yeah, it all starts at Star Sands' house with the air conditioner. Oh, I will say, she's very animated. I hope everything's okay out there. Sorry, this is just fascinating to me. I watching her talk with her hands while she animates the conversation. Considering how bad she is with technology, it wouldn't surprise me if the Robot Uprising started at her house. I think she's telling him to go under the house and look. Or maybe they found out something about the cats. Could be. I wonder if he can see where she's pointing. Or if she just... No. So she's just talking like that because she can't. She does. Very animated directions here. We still can't hear you. Oh no, she's still talking to Starman. Talking with her hands while on the phone is the most Italian thing I've seen her do. Star Sands, the embodiment of every Italian stereotype when it comes to her hands. Yeah, I feel like most horror movies start this way.
I very much talk with my hands, even more when I'm on the phone.
Yeah. I mean,
I saw. They were roasting me, babe.
The whole time.
So, when my mother died, my water broke. The pump to my well.
Uh-huh.
I believe what I'm hearing, and what he's hearing, is our well.
Oh.
Now, my well broke because lightning struck it. But what just happened was, I just went to the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
I flushed the toilet.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna see in a minute, because it was going off like every few seconds. I feel like I'm crazy. But he heard it too. But he didn't hear it outside. Imagine we get holographic telephones, that poor thing is gonna try to get up. I feel like most horror movies start. No, it's gonna sneeze again.
That sounds even more like a horror movie song.
Let me tell you something. The year my mom died, everything went wrong, guys. Everything went wrong. First, a tree fell, knocked out my power.
Oof.
And then right after that, when the tree fell, well, no, first the water went out, then the tree. No, what was the series of events? I can't fucking remember. But it was like a series of unfortunate events is always happening around my fucking well. And I hate it. Start saying it's gonna be Italian stereotype. Oh, it's not. See, this is why I hate when people are like stereotypes are wrong. No. Oh, James, thank you. I think she'll find it funny, although I don't think she sees you as a nemesis. Not until now. Now she does.
We all
I'm
need a
starting to
good
get
nemesis.
pain in my throat, so we might have to end soon. But Starman is in the bathroom right now, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna be watching. But thank you for the $5, James. I appreciate you. He started out as a Gothix's fan, and now he's following me. And I feel very
Aw.
touched.
Well, at
But
least he has good taste.
huh?
So at least he has good taste.
Right? Very good taste. But whatchamacalls it? No, I hate it because when you have really sensitive hearing, like I can hear things that other folks don't hear. Like the buzz of certain things, the sound of certain electronics, the way certain things click. And I have to remember not to say, "Can you hear that?" Because it sounds kind of crazy saying it.
No, I can actually understand to some degree. I think if I didn't have so much tinnitus, I'd probably be just as bad, but I always hear some kind of buzzing or ringing in my ears anyway.
So I get them, but I get them usually when, like, especially old. It used to be worse when there was old tube TVs, but I will get hit by a sound wave and it causes my tinnitus because I can physically feel like the sound. So a lot of sound waves are very silent.
Yeah.
But they can come from an engine starting, they can come from an electronic starting. And what happens is when they go, they'll hit my especially this ear now, the one that Orion damaged. And I'll feel it and I'll be like, and I'm like, oh great, this is great.
It's fun for me. I'll be sitting around doing nothing, and all of a sudden it'll feel like my ear just seals up, and then it goes.
See, for me, it's not a seal up. It's a seal up, but it's different. It feels like something hit it, like a wave. Like, you know when you get water in your ear? It kind of feels like it hit me, rather than just the ear closing on its own.
Yeah, no, it literally feels like it contracts. It's crazy.
See, no, so I know the feeling you're talking about, and I've had that happen with, like, I get a lot of, like, so when I was young, guys, this is the last thing I'll talk about, and then I gotta get going because I can feel my throat going really bad. I used to hear things. So because my ears were so full of earwax when I was little, your brain makes up stuff. I could hear a radio in the middle of the night. And I could hear it talking about weird stuff. And it was the same voice over and over again. And then I'd hear a train sometimes. So here's a problem. Where I was, there was no trains. And the radio was never playing in the middle of the night because everyone would be awake. Quiet light. This LED has to be replaced. It's ridiculous. But anyways, and it was bad. Man, you have schizophrenia. No, because when your ears are clogged and it thinks it's hearing something, what was happening is my ears were hearing my pulse and my breathing. And sometimes it was creating new sounds to try to understand. Your brain doesn't, I forget what the technical term is for it, but your brain is trying to create new sounds to understand what it's hearing. And so what happened was we went to the doctor and he took out what is called the gator. And I will tell you right now, one of the most amazing feelings in the world was when he took this gator and he pulled out everything from my ear. It was this little thing. It was so small. Like, we're talking like it was thinner than this. And it had a little mouth with teeth. And he went in and he pulled all the wax out on both ears. And when I tell you guys, that was the most satisfying feeling in the world. Suddenly, I could hear everything. The world exploded with sound. And so that's why sometimes if I'm on stream, you'll see me going, I can't stand when my ears are clogged because nothing feels better than when it releases. I just hear everything. It's just this cacophony of sound. It's so nice. But yeah, repetitive sounds get stuck in your head, right? And this happened to me a lot when I was little. Like how lights, yeah. So the sound of appliances, and things like that, like I hear those.
Yeah. I have an induction oven. I can hear the hums of the different
certain
spots on it.
Right. Kind of like when a song gets stuck in your head, something like that. It's just you know, I hate having a lot of this. That's why I'm very picky about eating for the same reasons. I have a very sensitive tongue, and a very sensitive nose. My eyes are starting to go thanks to this. I will say, I will tell you that between drawing, because I draw when I'm like this far away from the paper, and the phone, I will say that my eyes are going quicker than anything else, because when I read on the phone now because it's free,
Yeah.
and so it's really bad. Just take a bunch of airplane rides for fun. See, now the problem is sometimes my ears clog when I go in the air because of the pressure difference,
Mhm.
and they don't unclog sometimes. Oh my god, yes, Rachel, the severe head colds, I hate it. Like right now, this caused pressure in here, and there was a head cold when I had COVID. The pressure was so bad that I could feel the air coming out of my tear ducts when I blew my nose.
I like it sometimes I can push here and it goes.
Oh, that hurt my throat. And with that, I think I should call it a night.
Yeah, no, I think we might have killed her off with that last one. Sorry. It does. It squeaks.
I love it. See, sometimes my ear will squeak when I. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was my ear. So, oh, now my ears are clogged, dumbass.
Oh.
Oh, when they pop, it's gonna be glorious. Horror, why don't you start us out?
Yeah. So I did drop the second chapter of my story on Locals. If you guys want to stop by there and check that out. What else is going on? It's Monday, so I don't think I'm doing anything tomorrow night. Wednesday, I'll be on the midweek hump. It's our year anniversary. We'll have had 52 official episodes. Shagsworth should be in some way bathing in some ranch dressing. So that'll be entertaining. Not sure what we're doing on guests now, but I'll let because our guest pulled out, but we're gonna figure it out. We haven't had time. We've all been busy. Everybody's been busy, so we haven't had time to talk things out about what we want to do.
Recession makes us more busy.
Huh?
Recession makes us all more busy because we're trying to make money.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on that.
Although, I'll say in a minute. Go ahead.
And I am now, other than when I'm streaming here with Starson, exclusively on Rumble for my gaming streams. So if you want to stop by over there and check out my Rumbles, I should be on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Well, as
then
for
we're
me,
back here.
Yes, and then we're back here on Mondays. Come here, my stoat. People, I guess people find this very entertaining. A lot of people say that they find him hilarious. I don't know why, but you know what? Whatever entertains.
Amusingly, every so often when you're sitting like that with them, it looks like you're wearing a fur stole.
That's what everyone keeps saying. Like I call him my little stoat, my little stole. Like everyone thinks he's a fur coat. And I've had a couple of videos, everyone's like, oh, that's a cat. Yes.
It's a cat.
And more than likely, until I start staying home more and my work-life balance is out, this is going to be a permanent fixture because someone is a spoiled brat. If you guys want to vote on whether or not I'm going to post more shorts this week, you can go onto my YouTube. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. I forgot what I was going to say. It was something funny, but now I don't forget. I don't remember it. I will be releasing a new video this week for sure this time. It's halfway done now. And funny enough, once again, I touch on fan art and I touch on fan fictions because it actually rolls into the subject of the video. I will be going live at a normal time tomorrow. I will be 12 to 3. You look like you're about to sneeze too, young lady.
No, I'm good.
Otherwise, guys, that's it for me at the moment. I might try to get 2 videos out this week.
She'll be on time tomorrow.
I'll be on time, which is a beautiful thing. And I'm kind of looking forward to it because I kind of miss I missed doing my streams on Tuesday afternoons. It broke up my day nicely.
Mm.
Other than that, guys, wish this luck. It needs it.
I'll give you a recipe to help it when we're off.
Oh yes, it's Valium. Works great. It's tried and true. Or is it cocaine? Which is
It's actually whiskey.
Oh no, that would be worse. Whiskey actually burns my eczema. So every time I have hard alcohol, kills me.
Okay,
That
I have
was
another
some-
way you can do it without whiskey.
Okay, good.
Whiskey just helps cut through it.
For me, orange juice. I've always used orange juice. And then obviously lemon and all this other bullshit. But that's it for me, guys. I'll be seeing you all tomorrow. Pray that my fucking tablet works this time. You weren't there last week.
No.
Last Tuesday, I got on and I was like, okay, I'll do my sprites, because whenever I have to record without my face, I want to have expressions.
Mm-hmm.
My pen just hovered, and it was
No.
putting little dots on the screen,
Oh.
and I was flipping out. No matter what I did, it kept flipping all the different features, and I was getting pissed. I finally I was like, fuck it. And I turned off everything and I grabbed out my pen and paper and I started, because I was so tired last week, dude. But yeah, so. Oh my God. But that's it for me, guys. You all have a marvelous week. I will talk to you all soon. I love you. Have a great night, horror. Remember to get your pets spayed and neutered, and remember to tell the people that are important to you that you love them and to be safe. So, guys, I love you. Be safe. Horror, I love you.
Love you too.
Be safe.
You too.
Would you like to take us out?
Good night. I'm not special. That's...
Bye, everybody.